If you remember, last week we found 4 names on a census, and we realized that there was a child who had died. I've actually found that child, so let me show you how to add a name in FamilySearch. There's actually several different ways of being able to go about this. I'm going to show you first of all the way to do this directly in FamilySearch. It's slightly more awkward because you have to have all of your data in front of you ready to fill in the parts that need to be filled in. The first thing, of course, is to make sure that you are signed in with FamilySearch. Then go to Find, and we're going to go for James Herbert Midwinter. And there are 2 listed there. I know it's not the one born in 1852. I know it was the 1869 one, so we'll click there and click Person so that we get his page up. And when that loads, we'll see that his wife, Harriet Preece, is listed there, but that there are no children. So we're going to click Add Child, and I know his name is Frank. He was born in the March quarter of 1898, so I'll put his birth as February. And he only lived to be 2 weeks old. So I'm going to put in March 1898 as his date of death. Not absolutely accurate because it's only approximate, but it is good enough to identify exactly who he is. Once the date is there, we'll click Next. And not surprisingly, no Frank Midwinter. Harry Frank Midwinter is there, but bear in mind that these are other relatives. Harry Frank at the bottom is, for example, my great-grandfather, and Harry Frank at the top is his son. But we're going to click Create New. And there we have Frank Midwinter listed as a son of James and Harriet. Now, I'm not going to be able to submit his name for a baptism because he died before he was 8 years old and therefore before the age of accountability. Okay, so now that we're looking at Ancestry, let's start off with James Herbert. So this is the same information that we had before. You'll notice up here there's a symbol just like the FamilySearch symbol, and I need to sign in to FamilySearch. This is similar to the way Pozilla does it. I have to sign in so that Ancestry is using their computers. And I then have to match him. I already know this is in fact him, and I'm going to connect him there. And you'll notice there's a blue check mark. That blue check mark means that all of his temple work has actually been done. And then the next thing we're going to do is to link up Frank. Remember, we've already added him. So I'm going to click here again, and this time I'm going to add relatives from FamilySearch. FamilySearch already has his parents and his spouse, but we only need to add the child. And he is the son of James Herbert and Harriet. And so now we're going to save. So that is how we added Frank, and you can see that he's now listed here. But let's go back to the 1911 census that we were looking at previously, because there's another way of doing this, kind of in reverse. Let's look at the 1911 Wales census, and we've already looked at this before. And I'll tell you now that I have done a little bit of additional research. I do know that William's middle name is Herbert. I do know that Phyllis's middle name is Agnes. Christine, her birth certificate actually says Emily Christine. And Albert's middle name is Edward. And I know roughly the time of year that they were each born. But you'll notice here it's asking, does the James H. Midwinter in this record match the person in your tree? And the answer here is yes. And I'm going to change just a tiny bit of information so that it's more accurate. This is the reason this is necessary is because this was done incorrectly by the person who transcribed. Okay, we've already got Harriet, of course. Now, I've no idea who George Arthur Cowell is. He isn't even mentioned in the census, so I definitely don't want to add him. I do want to add William H., and again, very badly transcribed, but I do know his name is Herbert, so we're going to put that. I also know that he was born in the, or his birth was registered in the June quarter, so I'm going to put about May of 1896. Then we've got Phyllis, and so I can add her middle name. I know her birth was registered in the December quarter, so I can put about November. We've got Christine, whose name is really Emily Christine. Oops, I guess I added Christine a second time. And she was born in the September quarter of 1904. So she was born about August 1904. And finally we have Albert E., and I know that his middle name is Edward, and he was born in the December quarter of 1907, so about November 1907. I can now save those new names to the tree, to my Ancestry tree. Seems to be taking a while, and there they are now, all 5 children, including Frank. And you'll notice that even though we added Frank first, it has added everybody in date order. And before we go any further, I should point out that even though I have Albert's name, I'm not going to be able to put his name forward for temple work just yet. I've got to wait until he has been born at least 110 years. So sometime next year I am going to be able to submit his name. But these other 4 names I will be able to submit. Let me show you how to add them to FamilySearch. I'm going to first of all click on William Herbert here. Then on the FamilySearch icon, and no matches are found. That's not a surprise. And so I'm going to add him to FamilySearch. And there it's asking me to confirm that I'm adding him. So he's being added now. Then I can do the same for the other siblings. If I click here, I can get Phyllis. I can go up. And again, I'm just going to add. So it's the same procedure. For now, I'm just going to hit cancel because that's really all I wanted to show you for this week. And then next week, I will show you how to submit names for temple work.